So, today we're diving into what the world's top performers do in the first 60 minutes of their day. And spoiler alert, it's not about crushing more emails or just getting a head start on work. No, it's about this really powerful protocol that's designed to literally calibrate your biology for peak performance. Let's get into it. This quote right here, it really gets to the heart of the problem, doesn't it? I mean, think about it. Your alarm goes off, and what's the very first thing most of us do? We grab our phone. And just like that, within seconds, we've basically handed over our focus, our attention, and even our emotional state to someone else's agenda. Could be an email, a news alert, a post, whatever it is, we start the day playing defense. And this is where the big mind shift happens. See, the goal of that first hour isn't to do more, it's to be more effective for the rest of the day. This isn't about hustle culture, not at all. It's about neuroscience. It's about intentionally tuning your mind and your body. And that process, that's what we call biological calibration. So, you might be wondering, why is this first hour so critical? Well, the answer is actually wired right into our biology. There's this predictable event that happens in your brain every single morning, and learning to work with it instead of fighting against it, that changes absolutely everything. Okay, so your brain doesn't just, slowly power on like an old computer. Nope, it goes through this incredibly dramatic and rapid chemical shift. And for those first 30 to 60 minutes, your mind is in this unique state where it's both super vulnerable and, at the same time, incredibly programmable. Right, scientists have a name for it, the cortisol awakening response, or CAR for short. Now, I know cortisol gets a bad rap as the stress hormone, but this morning spike is actually a really good thing. It's this natural, healthy surge that's designed to switch on all your systems, boost your alertness, and get you ready to take on the day. Think of it like your body's own built-in launch sequence. And this really shows the fork in the road, right? These are the two choices we have during that critical CAR window. If you just flood your system with stressful stuff like work emails or scary news headlines, you basically hijack that natural cortisol spike. You hardwire your brain for anxiety and distraction for hours. But if you protect that window, you stabilize your brain for focus and you start the day feeling in control. So how do we actually do that? How do we protect that window and get that calibrated awakening? Well, the answer is a simple, but man, is it a powerful protocol. It's built on three core biological anchors. These are the three pillars: light, hydration, and creating what's called a non-reactive zone. They sound simple, I know, but they're so incredibly effective because each one talks directly to your body's most basic systems. Let's break them down. First up is light. And I'm not talking about your phone screen, I mean natural sunlight. Getting just a few minutes of sunlight in your eyes first thing in the morning sends this incredibly powerful signal through your retina straight to your brain. It basically hits the off switch on melatonin, that's the hormone that keeps you asleep, and it tells every single cell in your body, okay, showtime, the day has officially begun. Second, hydration. This one feels like a no-brainer, but it's so easy to forget. I mean, after 7 or 8 hours of sleeping, you are naturally dehydrated. And trying to get your brain, which is 75% water, by the way, to do anything complicated in that state, it's literally like trying to run a high-performance engine without any oil. It's just not going to work right. And finally, maybe the most important step of all, the non-reactive zone. This is all about creating a sacred window of time, ideally that full 60 minutes, with zero external inputs. That means no screens, no news, no social media. This is your time to set your intentions. I love this phrase for it. In this state, you are the architect of your day, not just a passive audience member reacting to whatever gets thrown at you. Look, following this protocol isn't just about feeling good for an hour. It creates this massive, compounding effect on your performance throughout the entire day. It gives you this proactive edge that is honestly, it's hard to overstate how big of a deal it is. So what's the real payoff here? What do you actually get by automating those first 60 minutes with a simple, repeatable routine? Well, it's all about protecting your single most valuable mental resource. And that resource is your executive function. You can think of it as your brain's CEO. It's the part of you that handles all the heavy lifting, complex problem solving, managing your emotions, making those really high-stakes decisions. And the most crucial thing to get here is that you only have a limited amount of it every day. So by protecting your morning, you preserve that limited resource. You stop decision fatigue before it can even start, which saves all that precious mental energy for the choices that truly matter later on. You're not just managing your time.
You're managing your focus at the deepest possible level.
This quote just sums it all up so perfectly. A morning routine like this, it's so much more than just a habit. It's a deliberate act of tuning your own system. You are literally choosing the mental and emotional frequency for your entire day. And that, in turn, ends up shaping your reality.
So, with all this in mind, it really comes down to a direct and simple challenge. A way you can put all this theory into practice, like tomorrow.
It all comes down to this one number: 60. 60 minutes. 1 hour that's dedicated to calibration, not reaction. A period of intentional silence from the noise of the outside world. So here it is, the challenge. Just try this once. Tomorrow morning, for the first 60 minutes of your day, there's only one rule: no phone. Instead, just focus on those 3 anchors we talked about. Get some light, drink some water, and operate with your own intention. That's it. Simple. And that leaves us with this final, really powerful question to think about. What becomes possible when you consciously decide to stop starting your day on defense? How might your focus, your calm, your effectiveness, how might all of that change when you begin each morning as the architect instead of the audience? It's a pretty profound thought to end on,